Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, Cooking for the Family. I'm Devon and today I'm going to share with you how to make delicious traditional chicken noodle soup. We are going to make a scrumptious hearty broth with our chicken noodle soup. It is going to be so delicious, y'all. And we're going to use all fresh ingredients, and I cannot wait to share this simple, wonderful recipe with you. Are you ready? These are all our ingredients. Okay, let's get started. So these are our veggies for our chicken noodle soup. We have some parsley here. I have a carrot, a large carrot. I have 4 ribs of celery, and I also have a large white onion. Now for the chicken noodle soup, I do suggest using a white onion. If you don't have a white onion, you can always use a brown onion, but really the white onion I think works best. Now with our celery ribs, I took 2 celery ribs and I cut those in half, and those are gonna be our starter for that hearty broth that I'm gonna show you how to make. It's so simple and it comes out so good as that base for your soup. And once I show you this technique to make that nice hearty broth, you're gonna want to do with all your future soups, trust me. Now with that broth, we're going to be using our onion, and I'm actually just going to go on and cut our onion in half. I'm going to use half of a whole white onion. Now when I first cut it in half, it didn't quite give me the whole half that I needed, so I cut a little bit of extra wedge on the side. Now I'm going to take our celery and our onion that we're going to be putting in whole. We're going to put them in whole just like that to our pot. In a minute, I'm going to go on and set that aside so I can chop up my other veggies that we're going to add to our soup, okay? And hey guys, if you are new here, welcome. And if you are a returner, welcome back. And if you haven't yet subscribed to my channel yet, what are you waiting for? Go on and hit that subscribe button. And if you like this video and appreciate the content, hey, don't forget to go on and give us a thumbs up. It's free and it helps out the channel so much. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going on and I'm chopping up my celery. And so I took 2 celery ribs and I'm chopping up my celery right there. That is going to go into our soup a little bit later. So remember, I had a total of 4 celery ribs. 2 I cut in half to put to the side to make our broth. And then the other 2 I went on and I chopped it up just like that. Now next what we're going to do is we're going to chop up our carrot, and I have 1 large carrot here, and I'm going to use about a third a cup, but no more than a half a cup of chopped carrots. Now if you like a lot of carrots in your chicken noodle soup, you can go on and go up to a whole cup of carrots if you'd like. Also with the celery that I chopped up, that was about a half a cup of celery that I chopped up, okay? Now the last thing that we're going to chop up is going to be our parsley. Now you can use flat leaf parsley, which is also called Italian parsley. I'm using actually curly parsley, the parsley that's like little curly on the end, but either one of those parsleys can work just fine. Now if you don't have fresh parsley, you can go on and use dry parsley as well. That'll work. Now to my pot, I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of butter, and you do want to use butter. So I added 2 tablespoons of butter. Now you can use salted or either unsalted butter. Either one will work just fine. I want to go on and I want to build the base by first melting our butter. Now my chicken thighs, I went on and seasoned them with some kosher salt and pepper. And so I just put a little bit of kosher salt on both sides of the chicken thighs, as well as some fresh pepper, okay? I'm going to start the chicken thighs, and these are bone-in chicken thighs. I'm going to start the chicken thighs skin side down in my pot. Now my pot is on medium heat. And the reason why you want to start skin side down is we want to start to build up that fond and the bottom of our pot. And how we do that is we want to start to kind of brown up that skin, that chicken skin right there. Now I have my flame is on a medium high heat. Okay, and so that way we want our pot to be nice and hot, and that really gives that chicken skin a chance to really brown up nicely. We're not trying to fry or totally cook our chicken at this point. We just want to really build up that fond and really kind of just brown and kind of like crisp up just slightly that chicken skin. Now this is going to take about a good 10 minutes. You're going to be doing about 6 minutes on the first side and about 4 minutes on that second side. And this is what you want to look for. You see how it's really starting to nice and sizzle and cook up really good. I'm going to go on and turn over my chicken thighs. And you see how the skin has started to brown a bit, just like that. That's what you're looking for. Now, once our chicken thighs are done browning on the first side, once we turn them over, they're only going to need about 4 minutes just to brown a little bit on that second side. And this is also why I love using the chicken thighs that have the bone in as well as the skin, because it really helps that flavor and the fond build up and creates such a delicious base for soup. Now, once we're done with that second side, see how they're looking? See how they browned up just a little bit on the second side? That butter in the pan, all we needed was that butter, a little bit of butter in our pot to really help get our thighs going. And also, if you notice, guys, I did not put the top on my pot, because if I had, then what would have happened is our thighs would not have had a chance to really brown. They would have started to steam in the pot, and that's not what we want. We don't want to steam them in the pot. So you do not want to put your top on your pot, okay? At this point, you do not want to do that. Now I'm going to go on and take out the chicken thighs. We're going to take out our chicken thighs and set them to the side for a moment, because we're going to put in that carton, that 1 quart of chicken stock. And I'm using chicken stock. However, you can also use chicken broth as well. And this is 1 quart, which is going to be 1 whole box of our chicken stock. What I'm going to do with this is I'm going to start to lift up the fond from around the sides of the pot, and all the little drippings from the bottom of the pot and all those little brown bits, we're going to incorporate that into this stock that we put from the carton, and it's really going to give us a nice heartiness. That's going to give us that heartiness that we want for our soup, and it's going to taste so good. And so I just go on and go around just like that, back and forth with my spoon, lifting everything up. Now we're also going to be adding some water. We're going to add 8 cups of water to our pot. The reason why you want to first lift your fond and all your brown bits off the bottom first is because if you put all your water in and then try to lift it up, you're going to have too much liquid in your pot and you're going to be just sloshing all over the place, and you don't want that. So it's easier just to add the stock, that quart of stock, and then go on and lift up everything. Now I'm adding back in my chicken thighs. I have my fire now. I've turned my fire up to high. I'm adding my thighs in, plus any juice that was left in the bowl with the thighs. We're going to add all that back in. Also, it's time for us to add in our celery ribs. And that was 2 celery ribs that we're adding in that I had cut in half, and half of our white onion. Together, the celery and the onion are going to boil with the chicken as it continues to finish cooking. We're going to put our lid on our pot, and this should take about 20 minutes and on high heat on a nice rolling boil for our chicken to be nice and done. Now our chicken has been boiling and cooking for 20 minutes now. And this is what you want your chicken to look like. It's nice and done through and through. We're going to go on and take out our onion and our celery. Our onion should be nice and soft, and that's another indication that they have given all of that wonderful flavor from the onion have been added right to our soup base. We're going to go on and take out our celery. Our celery should also be nice and soft. And so our celery and our onion, they have done their job for our soup. So we're going to take them out. Next, I'm taking out my chicken thighs, and I'm going to put them in the bowl that I have my celery and onion that I'm taking out, because we're going to let these slightly cool before we shred and cut them up. Next, what we're going to do is go on and add in the celery and carrot that we had chopped up. And while we're working on our chicken, while we're shredding and cutting up our chicken, we're going to let the carrot and celery go on and get nice and tender. So next, what we want to do is I'm going to take off the skin that's on these thighs, and I'm also going to go on and discard the celery and onion. We don't need it anymore, and it's done its job for us. It really helped to flavor our soup. Now I'm going to go on and remove the chicken skin. We're not going to be putting the chicken skin inside our soup. It really just doesn't go well inside the soup. So we're just going to discard that chicken skin. And so I'm going to chop up and shred the chicken thighs. And I'm using a fork right now to help me peel and pull some of that, the meat off of the bone, because the chicken is still pretty hot. And so it's just easier just to kind of use that fork to pull away the skin off the bone and then go on and just chop it up into bite-sized pieces for our soup. Now, once I have that all chopped up, I'm going to set this aside because I'm going to add in our noodles. Now, what you want to use is you want to use egg noodles, and I like to use the wide egg noodles. I'm going to put in 3 cups of dry egg noodles, and 3 cups of dry egg noodles to our soup. This is going to be enough for 6 people. So you're going to have enough soup to serve 6 people. It is also going to be great for leftovers if you want to put in a container, a freezer container, and freeze any leftover soup. Keeps really well in the freezer. I'm going to check now our soup base for any seasoning, see if I need to add a little bit more seasoning. Just a little bit more. We're going to add a little bit more of salt and pepper to our soup, just like that. And now I'm going to add in our egg noodles. And again, that was 3 cups of egg noodles. Now in the description box below, guys, I'm going to have a list of all the ingredients that I use to make this delicious traditional chicken noodle soup. And so I want to give everything a stir. Our noodles, you want to cook them till they're nice and tender. And that's going to take about 8 minutes. It's going to take about 7 to 8 minutes. And I'm going to put the top on my soup. Now also, I'm not adding the chicken in just yet. I want to give the noodles time to go on and thoroughly cook. All right, guys. Well, it has been 8 minutes while our noodles have been cooking. Our pot is boiling. Oh my gosh, our soup is coming together so nicely. Look at that. Our broth is nice and rich. And so now it's time to go on and add in our chicken. And I waited to add the chicken in at this point because if I added the chicken in while the noodles were cooking, our chicken can kind of overcook and lose some of its juiciness and some of its moisture. And we don't want to do that. We want our chicken to stay nice and tender. It was already thoroughly cooked. And so now we're just adding our chicken, which is still nice and warm. We're adding our chicken into our hot pot. We're also going to add any juice that was left over in the bowl with the chicken. We're going to add that into the pot as well. Now, next, what we're going to do is our last step, guys. We are almost there. We are now going to add in our parsley. And that was that fresh chopped parsley. And I am putting in 2 tablespoons of fresh chopped parsley. Now, if you don't have fresh parsley, you can also use dried parsley. And you would just need to use 1 tablespoon of dried parsley. But this is it. Doesn't that look so good, y'all? Can you believe it? Delicious homemade chicken noodle soup made nice traditional style. You've got your celery in there, a rich broth, wonderful base, and that is how you make a really good flavorful base for your soup. Well, that is it for me today, guys. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, what are you waiting for? Go on and hit that subscribe button. And if you like this video and appreciate the content, be sure to give us a thumbs up. Well, remember, it is always good when Devon is cooking for the family. I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye, everybody.